All right, I think we're live. Welcome, Toolkit Masters, to our first Q&A Thursday 2018. Fantastic to be here. I've been excited about this. Now, I want to know if we have got people on the line. So when you get a chance, make sure that you let me know that you can see and hear me. I'm really, really excited to have you here. I can't believe our first Q&A Thursday back for 2018. That's fantastic. All right, so we are going to make sure that you can see and hear me. So in the comments, which is down at the bottom of your screen on the right-hand side, you will see hey, Flick can see me. Hi, Felicity, great to see you. And I hope you had a great Christmas and a New Year. I will want to have a chat to you soon, so I'll give you a call on the phone in the next few days and we'll catch up. But yeah, so if there's anybody else on the line, please make sure that you can see and hear me and let me know. Now, we've got exciting news. I'm using, thanks, Happy New Year to you too. We've got some exciting news. I'm using a new platform from Webinar Jam, so bear with me. I have been testing it over the holidays. We've had a few dummy runs that have gone really, really well, which makes me a little nervous to start with because I wish they've been really hazardous and then I could have fixed it up as I went, but I'm sure we're going to be fine. So bear with me. Okay. So live coaching 2018. Now we've got some few new friends joining us very, very soon if they're not joining us today. So I'm really excited to welcome those people that might not have been on a Q&A Thursday before. And I'm just going to go through quickly what we do and how we support and help our leaders. So first of all, we go through any questions that have been asked on the ask@teamleadertoolkit.com. So if you have any burning platforms, if you've got any questions, queries, thoughts, insights, successes, anything like that over the time period. And it works really, really well if you happen to be a shift worker and you're working evenings or afternoons or nights or whatever, and you can't get onto the live webinars as much as you would like. Sometimes it's good to actually put your question through on ask@teamleadertoolkit.com. We will get back to you within 24 hours of that email and give you the answers that you're looking for. And then we will ask you permission if we can actually use it on the live webinar so that other people can benefit from your question. Because no doubt if you've got the question, other people will have the question. So, yeah, so absolutely, that's what we do. The other thing that we do is I always ask if there's any questions from the floor. So if anybody is actually got any questions that might be online currently, then we ask, you can, ask any questions that you like and you'll get your answers immediately then. And we also ask if you want to share any successes with us, if you've got anything that's working really, really well, if you've got any burning platforms that have just a bugbear for you at the moment, because not only I'm here, but you've got other team leaders here too that might have gone through that very same thing and might be able to give you some answers. The other thing is we encourage you to go on the secret Facebook site so that you can go on there, you can ask whatever questions. We're on there 24/7, so either me or part of my team will actually be on there and be able to help you out there too. So make sure you utilise that. And also what I do on these is I usually share some sort of interesting topic or interesting article that's come my way. Sometimes it's relevant to somebody who I've been coaching lately, and I think that it's relevant to you guys as well, so I like to share that with you. And we also share any new tools or resources that are coming your way. So we've got this new platform now from Webinar Jam, which I'm sharing with you. We've also got some new tools that are coming your way too. So I'll talk about those towards the end of the webinar. All right. So without further ado, has anyone got any questions, thoughts, queries? I know we've got a few people online, so that's great to see before we start, because I'm going to share a slideshow with you. And this is a new way of doing it, so bear with me. I've got the old way to do it backed up just in case, but let's see if this works. So while you guys are thinking about things there, I'm going to share my slide presentation with you. Let's see how quickly this goes across. Oh, look, and you can see me still. How exciting. I'm really excited about that. Okay, fantastic. So we've got live coaching 2018, people. I'm really excited to have you here. And we've got some interesting stuff to share with you today. So first off, without further ado, welcome back. Does everyone remember this? Welcome back, Connor. It was that iconic USA TV show that pretty much launched John Travolta's career. But anyway, I had that in my head as I was doing these slides, so I wanted to share that with you. Welcome back, 2018. We are back on and very excited and raring to go. Okay, so as with any new year, everybody makes sort of New Year's resolutions, don't they? So whether it's weight related, whether it's health related, maybe you want to take up a new hobby, maybe you want to do more travel this year, maybe you want to spend more time with family or friends, whatever those New Year's resolutions are for you. It's a general practice that people take up New Year's resolutions. So while we're making New Year's resolutions to better ourselves on a personal level, I think it's really, really important, and it doesn't receive enough focus, to actually make sure that you look at the resolutions that you want to make as a leader. So what is that leader that you want to be in 2018? So obviously we have done things in 2017, some things that we're really proud of, some things that were real wins for us. Other times it might be not so much a win, and we want to reflect on those and see how we do that differently. And there'll be some things that we want to change from last year. So this is a perfect opportunity now, is sit back and reflect on that and determine what are going to be your resolutions for leadership per se for 2018. So we're going to take the opportunity now for me to share with you 9 resolutions that you can take with you. You can consider taking a few of them on board. All of them might resonate with you. So just have a think about. But let's have a look at 9 resolutions that you can take in with you for 2018 as that leader that you want to be. Be that leader. So when I say be that leader, I mean it's that leader that you aspire to, that leader that changed your career, that leader that really made a difference in your life. Be that leader for somebody else. All right, so let's start without further ado. Okay, so it's been interesting, hasn't it? I wonder how everybody's New Year's resolutions are going currently. I didn't even make any, to tell you the truth, but I made some prior to New Year. So I don't call them resolutions. I call them goal setting, because I've got more of a chance of them actually coming true. So yes, resolutions, here we go. So the first one out of the 9 that I wanted to discuss with you today is don't forget your strengths. So as we look back, we look at a lot of things that we could have done differently. We look at a lot of things that go, okay, I didn't like how I handled that, or that could have done differently, or this is something I need to change. What I want you to do here is focus on your strengths. What things went really well for you? What did you do really great? And then I want you to build on those strengths, because when you build on your strengths, a lot of times your weaknesses seem to diminish themselves. So for example, if one of your strengths were you were taking a project team and you did really well with that project team, but one of your weaknesses is assertiveness or confidence, then don't concentrate on the confidence thing so much. Do more of that project stuff that you do really, really well. Because what you'll find is as you do more of those, your confidence will grow. So therefore your weakness will diminish automatically by doing the stuff that you love to do. So it's not saying that correcting a flaw or a weakness isn't useful, but what I'm trying to say to you is focus on your strengths and building those strengths up. And what you'll find is your weaknesses will tend to diminish anyway, just as a consequence. So that's one thing that you can do. If anybody's got any questions, thoughts, or queries through the time, then just please write it on the comments, and I'd love to hear your thoughts as well. Okay, so what have we got next? We've got stop multitasking when engaging with another person. So I found this a lot in 2017, where we get so busy, we get so bogged down with the everyday. There is so much that is expected of us as leaders that we try and multitask, okay? So when you've got your computer and you've got multiple windows open, then, that doesn't offend other open windows, right? So you can have multiple open windows on your computer. However, when somebody's talking to you and you're texting, answering the phone, firing off an email, that is offensive. And not only that, is you're telling that person, whether you mean to or not, you're telling that person that they're not very important to you, that this email's more important, that text message is more important, or that phone call's more important. And I'm sure that's not your intent, but that's how it's going to be perceived. So it's really, really important that if somebody has come to you and they want to have a chat, then you give them your undivided attention. That text message can wait, that email can wait, that phone call can wait. Now, if you have got an important phone call coming in and you're a bit scared that it's going to come in and you're going to miss it and you can't miss it because this is really important, then start the conversation with, I really want to talk to you, John. This is really, really important to me as it is to you. I just need to let you know that I'm expecting a really, really important phone call. I want to talk to you about this now. If my phone call comes in, I'm going to have to stop the conversation, but it's something that I'm going to want to continue with you after I've finished this conversation on the phone. So at least you've given them a heads up that they are important. Yes, you're going to have to break in the middle of the conversation, but you're going to come back to it because it is important to you. So it's just something that you need to take into account. And I think it's something that we sometimes forget. Okay, so it might be something that you might want to put into your resolutions for this year. Okay, so what's the next one? So communication, so language is probably one of our primary tools in business that we use and how we communicate effectively. So what I've found in the past and what has worked really, really, really well for the leaders that I've coached on a one-on-one basis is their ability to tell a story, to be able to use metaphors, examples, to, do those sorts of things whilst they're trying to build engagement. So, for example, say you've got a big change coming into your workplace and you're going to be the champion of that change. Think about what stories that you can tell around that change that will help bring buy-in from your team members. So just coming in and saying, policy ABC's changed, we're not doing it that way anymore, we're doing it this way, catch you later, is probably not going to get as much engagement as you telling a story about when a change came through when you were on the other side and, how did it make you feel and what are you going to do differently to ensure that doesn't happen and, all those sorts of things. So, yes, it sounds a bit convoluted and long-winded and all those sorts of things, but absolutely it makes a difference. Now, let me tell you a story about a CEO who had a company and I think I've told this story to you before, but let's see if you can remember. He had this company and the company were losing a lot of money on these admin everyday tasks not being completed. So people like signing off their credit card and people doing bits and pieces. So they getting fined and all sorts of things, the company were, because people were just not doing those yucky admin tasks that everybody tries to avoid because they just, seem to take up so much time. So anyway, the CEO said, well, I don't understand why this is happening because I've got a great team, but they're just avoiding these menial day-to-day tasks that need to be done and focusing on the stuff that they love to do, that they do really well. So what am I going to do differently? So anyway, he got in front of everybody and he had this meeting and he said to them, look, I want to tell you a story. I want to tell you a story about my dinner time last night with my family. I was sitting down with dinner with my family and I have two beautiful girls and my wife had cooked this beautiful meal, a beautiful roast dinner, and we were eating our roast dinner and I noticed that my girls were not eating their Brussels sprouts. Now, also in the oven waiting for us was this beautiful handmade, beautiful apple pie and all this sort of stuff. And the girls were really excited about having this apple pie. And I said to the girls, you know what, Mum has worked really hard to get this beautiful meal for us. And I can see that you're not going to eat some of the stuff that's on your plate. So what I'm going to tell you is sometimes in life we have to do things that we don't really want to do to get to the good stuff, right? So if you want to get to the good stuff, if you want to get to the apple pie, you're going to have to eat your Brussels sprouts. And, after a bit of enthusiastic coercing, the girls did eat their Brussels sprouts and then they got a beautiful big piece of pie. So he said, so what I want you to remember is there's going to be in the work life things that we have to do that are like Brussels sprouts. Nobody likes them. Nobody wants to do it, but we just have to. We just have to get onto it so we can get to the pie. Okay, so what I want you to do is make sure you do your admin tasks, make sure you sign off your credit cards, make sure you do all your reconciling. That has to be done. So eat your Brussels sprouts, then we can get to the pie. So anyway, he said this story in his company. And from then on, all these admin renamed to Brussels sprouts. So everybody would say, oh, sorry, I can't come and see you and have coffee with you right now. I've got some Brussels sprouts I've got to do. And so everybody knew exactly what they were talking about when they were talking about Brussels sprouts. So yes, it's powerful. A story is powerful, and it'll let people understand and show relevance and all that sort of stuff. So try and think about how you can communicate more powerfully with your team. How can you resonate with them more? What stories or metaphors or whatever you can use. The stories are more powerful if they're actually yours and they're authentic. They have to be authentic and honest. But you can use other stories as long as you're upfront with that. You can say, oh, Jack told me a story last week that I have to share with you because it's really relevant to what we're doing now. So then you can share that story, and that's okay, but it doesn't hold as much weight as your story. So something to be mindful of. All right, how are we going? Number 4, assert yourself. Now, you need to be visible because you are the leader, right? So there might have been times in 2017 where you felt like you were held back a little bit, or you pulled back a little bit, or you didn't want to rock the boat. So I want you to think about 2018 in a different way, whether you're advocating a new point, or whether you're supporting a customer, or whether you're sponsoring an employee, or for a promotion or something. I don't want you to focus on whether you're being pushy, because you're going to be polite. That's not the issue. But I want you to state your position. I want you to be firm. I want you to be able to have a voice. So many times last year, I found that a lot of my leaders in the company of their leader or peers, they would become subservient. They would become, they would feel that they had a lesser importance in that meeting, which to me was not true. So we need to try and change that mindset and turn it around. I'm not saying disallow other people's perspectives. Absolutely, it's important for that. But it does mean that you have a right to actively promote your voice and say what you need to say and the reasons why. And remember, assertiveness is not the same as aggressiveness. So being assertive is, absolutely being confident in what you're saying. Aggressiveness is totally different. We want to avoid that. Okay, we don't want that. Okay, so assert yourself this year. Try and push yourself a little bit out of your comfort zone and go for what you believe in and what's going to make a difference and value add. And I think you'll find that will be great. Okay, what do we got next? We have role modeling key behaviours. Now, if you didn't know it, I'm going to tell you that you are being watched all the time. Everything you do, everything you say is being watched. Now, it's not Big Brother. It's just the reality of being a leader. So people, whether it's people on your team, peers, new peers especially, leaders, other teams, they are paying a really close attention to your behaviour to determine what's acceptable and what's not of what they can do. So let me give you another story about a department leader who was adverse to taking breaks. So he wouldn't take a coffee break. He'd walk around with his coffee in his hand, sloshing all over the place. He wouldn't take a lunch break. He'd eat at his desk while he was on his computer. He'd get there early. He'd leave late. And then I was coaching some of his leaders that were underneath him. And these leaders were really embarrassed if they got caught stopping to eat their sandwich. They felt guilty when they were making a coffee and the boss walked past and looked at them because they were going, oh, no, I've just made a coffee and got caught. They would want to leave at their normal time at 5:30, but if the boss was still there, they'd leave their computer on and leave their bag under the desk so it looked like they were still there. So when I was trying to encourage them to, be open with me of why they were doing that, they were saying because the boss does. He comes in at 7, doesn't leave till 7. He doesn't have a coffee break. He doesn't have a lunch break. So then that means I can't. I went, oh, okay. So I went to the department leader and I said, look, let's pretend his name is Jack. It isn't, but let's pretend his name's Jack. So Jack, do you have an expectation that your leaders, your team, they won't ever have a coffee break? He said, no, not at all. I said, do you have an expectation that they won't ever have a lunch break? No, I want them to have a lunch break, he said. I said, do you expect them to work 12 hours even though they're only getting paid for 9? And he went, no, not at all. So that wasn't his intention, but because he was doing it himself, that was what was perceived to be the norm. So then I coached Jack around, well, what you do is actually what they're doing. And they're frightened to have coffee breaks and they don't want to have a lunch break because you don't. So it's really, really important to role model the behaviours that you want to see from your team. So if you want to see them, constructively talking with each other, then you do that. If you want to see them, having insights and sharing stories, well, then you do that. So it's really, really important for you to realise that you are being watched every second of the day. So just be aware that whether you have that intention or not, it's going to happen. Okay, let's keep going. I'm on a roll here. We've got 9 of these and we're on number 6. Woohoo! Okay, spend more time thinking strategically. So a lot of times I think we get stuck in the everyday and it gets really, really busy and we go from one thing to the next, one meeting to the next, and then something else is happening and we just don't have time to sit down and think. And half the time we end up doing stuff and we can't even remember why. Why are we doing this? I don't know. We just got to do it. Let's just do it. So let's try and make 2018 a little bit more strategic thinking. Let's have a think about giving us time to sit back and go, okay, so this is what the organisation's goals and strategies are. This is what the department's strategies are. How does that peter down to my team's strategies? How are we going to get these done, and how are we going to make sure we're focused into getting those done rather than getting scope creep where you start doing bits of everything? So strategy is all about helping you with the tactics of how you're going to do it and when you're going to do it and why you're going to do it. So have that time to sit back and think about it more strategically. And you don't have to make stuff up because a lot of the stuff's already out there. You'll have strategies for your business. You'll have strategies for your department. You'll have strategies for the area that you're in. All you have to do is pull those ones down for your particular team and then focus in on those. And then carve out a little time each week. So put it in your diary that, so you've got time to think about, so what needs to be done? Where are we? Let's collaborate here. Let's calibrate where we are, make sure that we're still on the right track, and then move forward from there. So spend more time thinking strategically. I think that would be a really good one for 2018. Okay, so we've got keeping your energies high. So it's really, really important because emotion and energies are contagious in your workplace, right? So if you have a team member come in and they're really down and they're upset and they're in a rut, then the mood of the whole team is going to come down. And because you're role modeling, you need to try and keep your energies at a pretty high level. Now, you don't have to be fired up all the time. That's not what I'm asking. But you need to ensure that you look after you and you feed those energy batteries. So if coming into work and all that sort of stuff and getting those jobs done and going to those meetings and, doing all those things start to drain your battery, you've got to work out what fills that battery back up. So is it exercise? Is it spending time with family and friends? Is it taking up a new hobby? Is it, sleeping more or hydration or whatever it is? Whatever it is that helps you feel energized, maybe it's going for a run in the morning. Maybe it's, having a really healthy lunch. Maybe it's, whatever it may be. Maybe it's ringing the family once a day or something to check in. Whatever gives you energy, make sure you do that because you're going to have to make sure that you look after yourself and fill those energy batteries back up. And then that's contagious. So if you come in and you're energetic and you're positive and all that frame of mind, that becomes contagious to your team, and that leads on to them doing the same thing. Makes a world of difference. But you can't keep that up at a level if you're not looking after yourself. So it's something that you have to take into account. Okay, so we're going to number 8. Ooh, getting through these. Okay. Champion change in your workplace. So in 2018, take some initiatives, take the reins, be in charge of something that institutes some sort of change. We can't stand still in business. We're at whatever business we're in, we just can't stand still. So if you are a leader and you're passionate about something and something's coming down the line, it could be something small. It could be a procedural change. It could be a policy change. It could be, whatever it is that you're passionate about, take that initiative, take that step forward. And what I would suggest to you is to make it easier on yourself is get buy-in from your team early. Even if you go to them in your first meeting and say, hey guys, it's 2018. What's the one thing we want to do differently this year than we did last year? Get buy-in from them. They might say, oh, you know, with that procedure that we do, I think that needs to be, you know, turned on its head, or that policy, it doesn't work with us, or that particular way that we do something, it doesn't work. I think we should do it this way. All of a sudden, if that's a great idea, if it's going to save you time, if it's going to save you money, if it's going to save you, you know, work hours, whatever, then that's something that you might want to be the leader of that change. And you're already going to have buy-in from your team anyway, because they thought of it in the first place. They've already got ownership over it. They got skin in the game, if you like. So, yeah, so try and be that champion for change in your workplace. There's a term that a lot of people have been using called change agent, and it's a bit of an overused term because, you know, if you want to maintain the status quo of your team, that doesn't take any change. You don't have to be a change agent to do that. Okay, so taking a more significant role as a leader and becoming the change champion in your workplace will provide you with the best opportunity to do your best work in 2018. So give it a go. Have a think about what you are passionate about and what you think is worth putting the extra effort into. And then last but not least is all about empathy and caring. So when we're talking about this, you know, because leadership isn't all about improving organisations. It's hard to lead effectively if you're leading a team that don't sense that you really care. So make sure in 2018 you are mindful about demonstrating your level of care and empathy. So when you interact through others, look for opportunities where you can show you care, right? So that little one at the beginning where we said, and I think it was number 2, where we said not multitasking and giving people your undivided attention. If someone's coming to talk to you, do that. That shows you care about them. You're not deprioritising them under that text message and under that email and under that phone call. So it really, really is important for your team to start building that trust and being able to feel like you're really, really approachable and they can come to you. Okay, so how do we go? There's 9 there. I know that's a lot, but I'm not expecting you to take all of them, but a couple of them might have really resonated with you and made you think, you know what, I can do this. I actually want to do this. So I'd love to hear if that's going to be the case for you. And let me know. So you can contact me, remember, through ask@teamleadertoolkit.com, or simply you can, I'm going to get you back here now. Oh, I'm just working out how to do it. Stop slide presentation. Maybe I pressed that. There you go. We're back. Okay. So you can contact me via ask@teamleadertoolkit.com. I'm also on the secret Facebook site that we've got. So get onto the Facebook site if you haven't got onto that yet, and let's have a chat about things. I'd love to see how your resolutions are going for 2018. You know, is it something that you can take on board, a couple of those? Is it something that you've already thought about perhaps? So let me know how you do with that. All right, so before I go, I know we've got a few people online, which is great to see. Is anybody got any questions, thoughts, queries for me? Is there anything that's going on in your world right now, a burning platform? Is something happening with your leader? Is your peers, your team? Anything at all that you want to ask me, feel free to just write it in here now. If it's something a little bit more personal and you want a bit more of a personal sort of answer, then absolutely ask@teamleadertoolkit.com. Drop me a line. We will get back to you within 24 hours, and then we'll ask your permission if we can actually use that for future webinars. Because if you've asked the question, then there's no doubt that other people are going to be having that same question. So make sure you do that. And be aware that we've got some more tools coming up on the tool suite. So you will see in the unlocking portal, pretty much nearly right down the bottom is the tool suite, and there's about 18 or 20 tools in there currently. We're going to have more going in there over the next week or so, so keep your eye on those. Really excited. We've been doing some good stuff over the holidays. And also, if you happen to be on a shift work one week and you're not going to be able to get to the live webinar, don't worry. We upload the replay for you. It goes on the secret Facebook site as well as up on the unlocking portal. So just above the tool suite on your unlocking portal down the side there, you will see webinar replays, and they're all in there. So they'll be all listed for you to go and have a watch. So without further ado, have you got any questions for me? Thoughts, queries, any successes that you would like to share? I'll give you a couple of seconds to write something in there. I've been bitten here before. Felicity would know, and a few others, if you're on, would know that someone asked me a question just as I pressed the end. And I didn't get to answer, so I'm a little bit hesitant to press end until I've made sure. All good with Flick? No worries. Anybody else on the line? All good? I'm just going to check. Everyone else all good? Okay, Sam, all good? Excellent. All right, I think we're all good. Okay, fantastic. So without further ado, thank you so much for joining us on our first 2018 Q&A Thursday. We will be back next week. We will be on fire. We've got some great stuff happening. If you've got anything, contact us on ask@teamleadertoolkit.com. We will answer within 24 hours, and then we might use your stuff for the webinars if you give us the permission to do so. So have a fantastic week, everybody, and I will see you same time, same place next week. See you for now. Thanks, Toolkit Masters. Bye.